Let's go!
So this was announced a day or so ago, and I have THOTS, thoughts, many thoughts. Arc System Works is getting a showcase / ASW Direct. This can mean a lot of things, and it's fascinating that they're doing a ASW Direct right after finally announcing the game that they had been working on, which maybe isn't coincidental. This is happening on Thursday, 10 a.m. Friday, June 27, Japan time, so it's like 6 p.m. our time or something like that. Is it like the same day as the Capcom Spotlight? So we will be streaming early on Thursday. We'll be streaming the Capcom Spotlight and then moving directly over into the Arc System Works Showcase. So we'll just be continually streaming. So it's just 2 hours later. Arc System Works Showcase, in addition to information on various game titles, which I'm assuming we're getting like updates on maybe Grand Blue, maybe Guilty Gear, including completely new titles, titles, plural, developed and published by Arc System Works. We will also be announcing a new project that Taisuke, I think that means Daisuke, is working on. This might be a fictional human. So breaking down the information that they're giving us right now, including multiple completely new titles. So this is referring that there's at least 2 that are ASW published and developed, and there are various titles in combination with that there's at least 1 more outside of the thing that they are publishing and developing. Some good news and bad news here, chat. Do you guys know what this means? Do we have an understanding of what the term developed and published means? Because I'm going to break it down for you. There are very few games that Arc System Works both develops and publishes, making them in-house. Games like Dragon Ball FighterZ, games like Marvel Tokon are not published by Arc System Works at all. Even some in-house Arc System Works games aren't even published by them. There is a limited amount of IPs that they do completely by themselves, and Guilty Gear is one of them. Grand Blue? Nope. Grand Blue is made by the guys who make Grand Blue. Let's talk about the 2 biggest elephants in the room. What are the chances of Tokon being here? I think it's pretty low. We're gonna do an actual gift sub bet of some kind. Everything that is distributed from Tokon as a game is being managed by Sony. The way they're marketing the game, the way they're not marketing the game, the way they show things off, what they do when they show things off, like all that kind of stuff, that is managed by Sony, specifically Sony XDev. And right now they're kind of focusing on another game that they just published, which is Death Stranding 2. I think it's pretty unlikely, man. I think they might talk about it. They might talk about their relationship with Sony. I think it's a very low chance. And in fact, if Tokon is there, I'm putting 200 gift subs down. Tokon shows new stuff. Has to be new stuff. Can't just be like Tokon on stream. 200 gift subs. And the higher the gift subs, a reminder, the less likely there is for it to be there. I have another one that everyone's sort of waiting for. Dragon Ball FighterZ 2. Everyone is sort of talking about DBFZ and DBFZ 2. Dragon Ball FighterZ 2. How much of a chance do you have that Dragon Ball FighterZ 2 is going to be here, or there is a continuation of some kind of Dragon Ball? My dude, it's a snowball's chance in hell. It's like a 2,000 gift sub, 20,000. Might as well, you know? 2,000 gift subs. We're not gonna put 20K in the off chance that your ass can get struck by lightning, all right? Weirder things have happened. That's 2,000 gift subs if Dragon Ball FighterZ 2 happens, dude. It's not happening. There's no goddamn way. It is not happening. However, looking at the information again, there's a couple of things that are likely, and I'm not really ready to put a gift sub bet down on this. A big update on, let's just look at Arc System Works website and see what we got here. You're not getting DNF Duel 2. There's a brand new Double Dragon game that they're making. The chance of this being here is extremely likely, dude. Extremely likely. Extremely likely that this is going to show up and be something that occupies a bit of space. I don't think Under Night is done yet either. I don't think Under Night is technically like totally Kaputski. So that's a French bread made game, don't get me wrong, but also like ArcSys published. I wouldn't be surprised. A reminder, this thing does say new titles that are developed and published by ASW. So there's a line under there, but I think the various game titles, yes, there might be more stuff on Uni. It still has DLC on the way. New Persona fighter. I have bad news for you guys. If you're expecting a brand new Persona fighter, very unlikely fall under any of these guidelines, because who would be the publisher of a new Persona fighter? Would it technically be Sega now? That's a possibility. You know, definitely a possibility that Sega and Atlas could have an announcement for something, but it would not be at an exclusive Arc System Works event. That makes no sense. Sega would want to promote that at something that would get like a whole bunch of eyes. The weird thing about this too is that this is happening like before EVO. I'm sort of like weirded out by this entire event happening right after TOCON, right before EVO. To me, if there was some big brand new fighting game thing, maybe they could give us like some updated information where we see something new at EVO. I also feel that seeing Guilty Gear Strive is likely very big. I think Strive is going to have a presence. They're going to talk about Strive's update. They're going to talk about like the Switch version and working on Switch 2. There's probably going to be some talks about the future, maybe the final character. And we don't know if this is the absolute end. All these things are going to have a space here. So then what the hell are we talking about then? Now that we're sort of eliminating things. I don't think TOCON's going to be here. I don't think Dragon Ball FighterZ is going to be here. I don't think it's a new Persona game. I think it's a guarantee we're going to see space on games like these at the event. So what the hell are these new titles, at least 2, published and developed? Here's my first huge brain theory. Daisuke's vision, his glorious Guilty Gear. I'm going to call it, I think it's done. His game is going to be a new IP fighting game. And I'm putting in 100 gift subs because I think the likelihood of that being the case is pretty high, man. I think Daisuke moving away from Guilty Gear after all this time, now that the game has effectively found its audience and something like that, this would be like a logo, extremely small, like not big. This is like a teaser / mini reveal. This is like him wearing a t-shirt or something like that. They might show a character or something in that regard. I think Daisuke getting a brand new IP fighting game definitely could happen. And I think I'm down for it, dude. I legit hope that there is a possibility that Guilty Gear maybe could continue in some fashion, in some way. But it did absolutely feel like, from my outsider's perspective and somebody that has no idea of the actual Guilty Gear lore, ain't that shit done? Then they wrap that shit up with a bow? I think I'm very much down for Daisuke's thing being a brand new IP fighting game. Not as in Daisuke's working on a new IP Dragon Ball, a new IP One Piece game. No. I think he's doing his whole thing. I think new. Actually new. You have never seen this before. That leaves something else. And I think this has a higher chance of happening. There's a few games that fit in new titles developed and published. And I think this is absolutely going to be pointing to BlazBlue something. I think BlazBlue something is extremely likely right now. More so even than the Daisuke having a new IP fighting game. I think BlazBlue getting a thing of some kind. I don't know if it's going to be like a spiritual remake, a reboot, or something in that regard. What if it's not a fighting game? They've already done that, man. You know how they reimagined Guilty Gear with Guilty Gear Strive? I think BlazBlue Strive is a likelihood, bro. I think striving BlazBlue is a high likelihood. They are a company. I think they absolutely could do that. Or just BlazBlue 3D. I don't see ASW just completely repurposing, redistributing their older BlazBlue games just with 3D visuals. They don't seem like the developer that would do that. I would be very surprised. And there has to be a continuation of those characters in some way, because they do obviously have a fan base and a fandom. Guilty Gear X BlazBlue, I don't see it happening at all. I see Cross Tag 2 happening before that. I think the toughest part of it is asset issues. I think the asset issues is like the one big issue. The logistics of it are kind of rough. I think Cross Tag 2 can happen. Here's all I'm going to say. I think BlazBlue needs to come back first. Instead of just getting the thing that you want in front of your face right now, chat, I think there's a thing that could be down the line that eventually happens. I think if you take BlazBlue characters, Strivify BlazBlue, if that means a bad thing, chat, I'm not thinking of gameplay. Everyone thinks immediately of a gameplay thing. When I think of Strivify, I think reimagine the characters, reimagine their visuals, take the game and put it in a completely different visual style, different gameplay style. So if you Strivify BlazBlue, you're now making 3D models and new designs of a whole bunch of characters. I could see them doing that. Yes, a reboot, 100%. I can see them rebooting it in some way. That can turn into a game that builds a lot of characters over a few years. That can turn into a game that has like a whole bunch of stuff. That could also lead to a thing eventually where they have all these Guilty Gear characters to work with. They have all these BlazBlue characters to work with. They both have 3D models. Now a BlazBlue where that has built up in more popularity than ever, because it will be popular. I guarantee you, dude, if you release a BlazBlue game nowadays and it has a modern Arc System Works designed ass looking characters, that shit is going to fucking slap. I think BlazBlue getting reimagined is absolutely a possibility. I think the chance of it happening, I'm going to say it's okay. I'm going to say it's another 100 gift sub bet. Not that outside of the realm of possibility. I legit think it could happen. There's our gift subs. There's a few things in here. I would be very curious what BlazBlue Reimagined would be like. Am I inherently a huge BlazBlue guy? Absolutely not. Every single time I try to jump into this game, it just never clicks with me in any way. However, I am curious where they could take it. I am curious where it could go. I don't think I have any resounding interest in anything that Arc System Works puts out that's non-fighting game related. If you're going to talk about ASW, my interest lies in the fighting game side of it. They're like, hey, so here's a Guilty Gear single player RPG. A lot of people are going to be really into that. I ain't going to be into that. We're getting Dissidia. Chat, you're not getting Dissidia. Jeez. Okay, fine. Here's the meme. Kiss my ass. That's the meme. Take that. Character action game would be cool. I would be pretty happy about a character action game of some kind. Meme bet, 5,000 gift subs on a Dissidia. That's a meme. I do think a few of these would make me pretty excited. I think any of these happening in some fashion, this is cool, dude. And I want to just be surprised. I think that's what I want.